Hi, my name is Paul Harris. I'm very honored to speak with you today at this event. Really appreciate the invitation from Victor and Michelle, and also really appreciated the topic, why REDCap? REDCap is one of my favorite projects. It always has been, and I think it always will be. And I want to just sort of give you a few reasons for that. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the history of REDCap. REDCap started in 2004. And it started at Vanderbilt University because what we saw in 2004 was that there were a lot of research teams doing really important projects, but they didn't really have the tools and the methodology they needed to adhere to best practices for data management and particularly security. Our hypothesis at the time was that researchers are not bad people. They want to do the right thing, but they need easy tools to do the right thing. Well, the problem that we saw was we had many diverse studies that needed data management support, but very few resources for custom programming. And so the idea behind REDCap was that if we could capture the data about the data for any particular study, and the platform was neutral and it didn't care whether we were doing a Parkinson's study or an autism study or maybe even a zebrafish study, as long as we had the data about the data correct, then we could spend our time building new functions and features for all studies rather than one at a time. It worked really well. And a few years later, we published this paper. This paper, if you're interested, sort of talks a little bit about the why REDCap in the very beginning and how we initiated supporting the research community, again, largely at Vanderbilt, but starting there, a few others as well. But it was a few years later in 2006 when we really started sharing with other institutions, and we recognized that if we can give this away at no cost to academics, nonprofit, and government organizations, there's some really good things will happen. And I'll tell you a little bit about that as we go forward. But the size of the consortium, has grown incredibly over the last decade or decade and a half. We're very proud of that, not necessarily because we like all of those dots on the map. Those are really cool, but really it's the people around all of those dots in the maps. It's folks like are in the audience today that are really doing things with REDCap and supporting their own users. If you're interested in the consortium story itself, we published this a couple of years ago. You see that the top right figure there that shows the graph of institutions that were joining. It was quite slow in the first 3-4 years. But then, over time, we just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And again, I think the reason for that is it's the people. It's all of the really smart people working together around the world. The consortium looked and felt a lot different when we were 3 institutions, then when we were 30, then we were 300, and then we were 3,000. And again, if you want to sort of look at how that worked and how the consortium grew and developed and evolved over that time, this is a great paper to check out. But yeah, I think this figure is my favorite figure of all time in the REDCap consortium, but especially in that paper. And it shows, how the virtuous cycle of being able to sort of listen to many research teams through informatics teams that are supporting REDCap at all of those dots in the map, all those partner institutions. We provide those tools. The informatics team disseminates, supports their own research teams, but also come up with great ideas all the time about how we might make REDCap better. We then prioritize, listen to that feedback, we prioritize it, build it, and then send it back out into the local Vanderbilt community, but also to the world through the REDCap consortium. And that virtuous cycle is really, really powerful. So why REDCap for me? Why is it an exciting and interesting platform and project? Because it's constantly evolving. We put out new feature releases about once a month. And if you take the 16 years that REDCap has been around as a consortium and you run around that cycle once every month, we're getting close to 200 functional releases over that time period. So it's really, really grown in terms of functionality and features as a result of that consortium. is supporting diverse biomedical research. We don't really know what everybody's doing with REDCap out there because it's really your business, what your research teams are doing. But we do get some counts, and we do also get that I showed earlier. But we also get publications and being able to see who's citing REDCap as in their methods paper, the methods section of their papers. We get a feel for what people are doing, and it's very, very diverse, which again, to me, is one of my favorite things about REDCap. REDCap is supporting and enabling data standards and interoperability. Good examples of this would be the REDCap shared library and the REDCap Spanish library. We see many teams using these resources on a daily basis, and it's really fantastic to see how the work of many is supporting the work of many more through the research community. We've spent a lot of time over the last few years building out functionality, really high-tech functionality, to be able to extract data from electronic health records into REDCap. And I won't bore you with the details there, but there's another really good paper out there that we published a few years on this product as well. REDCap is supporting workforce development. In case you haven't seen it, we've used REDCap as sort of a base platform for teaching a massive open online course called Data Management for Clinical Research. If you're interested in that one, it's a free course. We teach about the principles of data collection and data management, not necessarily REDCap, but we use REDCap in a lot of the examples in the assignments. I want to give credit to Dr. Stephanie Duda, who runs that course and does just a fantastic job. Here's an image from a recent news article at Vanderbilt talking about the mobile app and how the mobile application from REDCap is really doing a lot to support workforce development and training in lower and middle income countries. Again, nothing makes me happier than seeing these use cases, than seeing these types of stories, how really great people are using the tools that we develop together to do good in the world. REDCap is supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm very proud that one of those cycles around the development feature set included most recently in December the release of multi-language support for surveys, and this is just fantastic. One of our collaborators in Germany did most of the programming behind the functionality to be able to sort of render surveys in many languages at once, and it's just fantastic from being able. We've seen it as fantastic as we offer studies and that are recruiting and retaining participants from different backgrounds and different languages. And then finally, REDCap supports sharing. I think, again, this is one of my favorite things. I found over time that you give brilliant users a common platform to work on, and they see interesting problems that need to be solved. And a platform like REDCap really can lead to innovation, and that is so fun to see. And we've seen it over and over again in the 16 years that REDCap has been a platform. But there's one more piece of it. If you also give those same research teams an easy way to share the projects they create on a platform called REDCap, you really solve two other big things, and that is making it really easy to collaborate and really easy to disseminate. And again, I think that's where we really start seeing the world changing stuff. This is no surprise to this group because you're doing some of that collaboration work, and we appreciate that very much. So just two more slides. I would be remiss if I said that my favorite things about REDCap did not include the actual people that run the platform, and this is a subset of those individuals, but can't express enough appreciation to our team at Vanderbilt. And then finally, can't overlook the fact that one of my favorite things about REDCap is the consortium itself. So thank you all for participating. Thank you for being part of the REDCap story and the REDCap team. thank you again for this opportunity to talk, and look forward to more content. Thank you.